From Noah's Ark in the Bible to the Mesopotamian accounts of Utnapishtim, Zizdura, and Atrahasis, the narratives of a devastating deluge, and the determined survivors who preserved life on Earth are intertwined in our collective memory. This shared mythology spans continents and cultures with striking similarities, suggesting a common origin or perhaps a historical event that left an inerasable mark on human consciousness. What could have triggered such a myth, and is it possible that these tales conceal evidence of extraterrestrial involvement in Earth's ancient past? We'll try to find out together in the new episode of Secret Origins. Welcome. Could the Great Flood represent a catastrophic event orchestrated or influenced by ancient aliens which reshaped the face of Earth and forever altered the course of human development, as well as our understanding of the cosmos and our place within it?
Just as Noah sought to safeguard humanity from the ravages of the flood, we too must safeguard our online presence from potential threats. And that's where Surfshark VPN comes in. Now you can get 3 extra months for free using our promo code Secret Origins. Once I was sitting in a city cafe, I connected to the public Wi-Fi there. However, a cyber thief silently attempted to breach the unsecured connection and steal my data. But luckily, I had Surfshark, which encrypts your data, making it nearly impossible for anyone to intercept or steal your sensitive information. With Surfshark, you can also say goodbye to geo-restrictions and watch your favorite shows and movies from anywhere in the world, even if they're only available in certain places. This video was sponsored by Surfshark, and with our exclusive promo code Secret Origins, you'll unlock amazing benefits like enhanced privacy, secure browsing, and access to geo-restricted content. Plus, you'll get 3 extra months for free. Don't miss out on this opportunity. Click the link in the description box to find more information and try Surfshark VPN today.
The notion of a cataclysmic event that shocked the world is not just a figment of human imagination. In fact, there are myriad of ancient accounts describing lost cities and great floods which can be found across different cultures and civilizations. Tales of divine retribution in the form of devastating floods are prevalent in various myths, hinting at a shared experience among diverse societies. One such legend that recounts a great flood sent by the gods to cleanse the world is the Epic of Gilgamesh. Actually, there are several Sumerian myths about the Great Flood that bear striking similarities to the biblical story of Noah's Ark, which has led some researchers to believe that they share a common origin. In the Bible's book of Genesis, it is written that Yahweh, who created man from dust, decided to bring the Great Flood to earth because of mankind's increasing corruption and downfall. The Lord saw how great the wickedness of the human race had become on the earth, and that every inclination of the thoughts of human heart was only evil all the time. The Lord regretted that he had made human beings on the earth, and his heart was deeply troubled. So the Lord said, I will wipe from the face of the earth the human race I've created, and with them the animals, the birds, and the creatures that move along the ground, for I regret that I have made them. Yahweh was however pleased with Noah and instructed him to create an ark for saving humans and animals. On completion of the ark, Noah, his entire family, and 2 of every type of animal on earth entered the ark. Once the door of the ark was closed, the destructive flood started and cleared all other living beings from the face of the earth. After the flood ended, everyone inside the ark came out, and Yahweh promised never to subject humans to something like the Great Flood again. The rainbow is known as the symbol of Yahweh's promise. But what if before the story of Noah and the flood, there is another version of this catastrophic event and of a human who was saved by the gods? In the Epic of Gilgamesh, the hero encounters the character Utnapishtim, who, like Noah, was instructed by a god to build a large boat and fill it with animals and his family in anticipation of a great flood. But what was the reason behind the flood described there? Was it sent again as punishment for humanity? The myth begins with the creation of humans by the gods, also known as the Anunnaki, or in other words, the extraterrestrial beings who came from the sky. Enki genetically engineered and mixed the DNA of Homo erectus with his own and created humans to work as laborers who mine gold, taking care of the gods' needs and maintaining their temples. Over time, the human population grew and their noise disturbed Enlil, Enki's brother and the main ruler of Earth, who couldn't sleep because of it. Enlil convened a council of the gods and they decided to send a series of plagues and famines to reduce the human population. 1200 years had not yet passed when the land extended and the peoples multiplied. The land was billowing like a bull. The god got disturbed with their uproar. Enlil heard their noise and addressed the great gods. The noise of mankind has become too intense for me. With their uproar, I am deprived of sleep. Cut off supplies for the peoples. Let there be a scarcity of planet life to satisfy their hunger. Finally, Enlil decided to send a great flood to wipe out humanity once and for all. But Enki, feeling compassionate towards the humans he had created, decided to defy Enlil's plan. He appeared to Atrahasis Utnapishtim in a dream, revealing the divine plan to send a flood and providing detailed instructions to build a massive boat that would save him, his family, and a pair of each animal species. Enlil, upon discovering that Atrahasis and his family had survived, was initially furious with Enki for defying his orders. However, the other gods, including Enki, persuaded Enlil to accept the survival of humanity as a necessary part of the divine plan. Enlil relented and blessed Atrahasis and his family. He also made a covenant with humanity, vowing never to send another flood to destroy them completely. The Great Flood is present in the myths of ancient cultures, and its potential extraterrestrial origin raises questions such as why it happened and what caused it. Some researchers suggest that these beings could have been attempting to destroy a hybrid race of giants, the result of interbreeding between extraterrestrial and human women, as described in the ancient Book of Enoch. The Book of Enoch is a non-canonical Jewish religious text that tells the story of Enoch, the great-grandfather of Noah, who lived in the antediluvian period before the Great Flood. Enoch is portrayed as a righteous man who receives divine revelations and is granted access to heavenly realms. He is shown the mysteries of creation and the workings of celestial bodies and the ultimate fate of humanity. Enoch also learns about the Watchers, the fallen angels who disobeyed God and caused corruption on earth. These celestial beings were said to have been captivated by human women and engaged in relationships with them, resulting in the birth of a hybrid race known as the Nephilim. The Nephilim were described as giants and were thought to possess immense strength and power, which they used to corrupt and wreak havoc on Earth. According to the Book of Giants, the Nephilim were responsible for committing dreadful acts, including the merciless killing of humans and even consuming their flesh. As a result, God determines that the Earth must undergo a purification process and selects Noah, the great-grandson of Enoch, as the chosen individual to begin humanity afresh. The interbreeding between humans and these otherworldly beings could have been seen as a violation of the natural order, and thus the Great Flood might have been orchestrated as a response to this transgression. If extraterrestrial beings possessed advanced technologies, as many ancient astronaut theorists suggest, they could have had the capability to manipulate celestial bodies like comets or asteroids and direct them towards Earth to initiate the Great Flood. In this context, the purpose behind the flood might have been to clean the earth of the Nephilim, who were considered an abomination, and to reset the balance of life on the planet. In ancient Hindu teaching, the story of Manu parallels the experience of Utnapishtim or Noah, as he receives divine guidance to build a ship and save himself, along with various creatures, from the impending deluge. So, who was Manu? In Hindu mythology, Manu is the first man and king who rescues life on Earth from a catastrophic flood. When a small fish, later revealed to be the god Vishnu in disguise, asks Manu for protection, he promises to save Manu from the upcoming deluge. Following Vishnu's instructions, Manu builds a large boat and fills it with pairs of creatures and seeds from various plants. As the flood arrives, Vishnu, in the form of a massive fish, guides the boat through the turbulent waters. Once the flood waters recede, Manu's boat comes to the rest on a mountain and he proceeds to repopulate the earth with the creatures and plants he had saved. We know that the Hindu gods have quite enigmatic appearances, and Vishnu, with his distinctive blue skin, multiple arms and celestial Vimana, has sparked speculation about his potential extraterrestrial nature. Not only that, in the story of Manu, Vishnu has disguised as a giant fish, which means he could transform or shape-shift his material body just as many alien beings are described to do. Could Vishnu be a link to a celestial race that once walked among us? The striking similarity in these stories across such diverse cultures has led many anthropologists to speculate that these myths may be rooted in a real event, a catastrophe so immense and unforgettable that it was engraved into the collective memory of humanity and passed down through generations as mythology. The search for evidence supporting ancient flood accounts has led scientists to uncover intriguing clues pointing to the possibility of a global flood or at least a series of significant regional floods. One such clue is the discovery of a potential asteroid impact site in the Indian Ocean. In 2004, a team of researchers discovered a 29-kilometer wide impact crater named the Burkle crater beneath the Indian Ocean. They suggested that an asteroid impact at this site could have generated massive tsunamis, leading to widespread flooding in coastal areas. Another compelling piece of evidence comes from geological formations called chevrons, composed of sediment and marine fossils discovered in Madagascar and Australia. The presence of these marine fossils in elevated areas far from the coastline suggests that massive waves or tsunamis may have once inundated these regions, and the fossils may have been evidence of a global flood event. The possibility of a comet striking Earth around the same time as the end of the last ice age has led to the theory that this event caused a global flood, wiping out advanced civilizations that existed before the flood. One of the most famous examples is Atlantis. According to the Greek philosopher Plato, Atlantis was an advanced civilization that existed around 9600 BC. This date coincides with the estimated time when a comet might have struck Earth, which in turn could have triggered the Great Flood. Atlantis is said to have been a highly advanced society with incredible architecture, technology, and knowledge. However, according to Plato's account, this civilization was destroyed in a single day and night of a catastrophic earthquakes and floods, sinking beneath the ocean and disappearing forever. The ruins of Göbekli Tepe in Turkey and Gunung Padang in Indonesia, which date back to the end of the last ice age, provide evidence of sophisticated construction techniques and architectural knowledge that were seemingly ahead of their time. Could the shared timeline between ancient sites and the story of Atlantis imply the existence of a global network of advanced civilizations that were destroyed by the cataclysmic event of the Great Flood? If these pre-flood civilizations were indeed connected, it would indicate that the world was once home to a thriving network of advanced societies, which were subsequently erased from history by a global cataclysm. And the potential extraterrestrial involvement in the Great Flood adds another layer of mystery to the stories of these lost civilizations. The Dead Sea Scrolls, one of the most significant archaeological finds of the 20th century, offer a unique glimpse into the ancient world and the religious beliefs of the people living at that time. The scrolls comprise a vast collection of Jewish apocryphal texts, including portions of the Hebrew Bible and other religious writings. In the stories that are contained in the Dead Sea Scrolls, Noah is portrayed as a remarkable figure with an unusual appearance. His complexion is described as being distinctly different from that of other humans, and his eyes are said to have a radiant quality, glowing like sunbeams. These descriptions have led some to speculate that Noah may have been an extraterrestrial being, or at the very least a human extraterrestrial hybrid. Moreover, to the story of Noah and the Great Flood is seen as a pivotal moment of human history, suggesting that the flood was intended to clean Earth of the hybrid race that resulted from the interbreeding between extraterrestrial and human women. In this context, Noah's survival in his role in repopulating the Earth after the flood may be seen as an attempt by these otherworldly beings to preserve a specific lineage, one that was pure in their eyes. According to ancient stories, the world after the flood was significantly different from the pre-flood era, when various mythical beings such as gods, giants, fairies, and other creatures coexisted with humans. So, the flood appears to serve as a turning point in numerous ancient texts, including the Bible and the Sumerian king list, illustrating that people lived much longer before the flood, whereas their lifespans decreased significantly after the event. Just as a comparison, here is a quote from the Sumerian king list that says, "After the kingship descended from heaven, the kingship was in Eridu. In Eridu, Alulim became king. He ruled for 28,800 years. Alajlar ruled for 36,000 years. Two kings, they ruled for 64,800 years." So it turns out that the Great Flood not only signifies a change in the human lifespan, but also highlights a shift in the relationship between humans and gods. Prior to the flood, gods were actively involved in human affairs, guiding them, interacting with them, and even engaging in romantic relationships with mortals. However, following the flood, the gods seem to have withdrawn, and their interaction with humans has become much more subtle and less direct. Some theories propose that this shift played a critical role in human history, as it allowed human development to progress without the constant influence and awareness of extraterrestrial beings. Did the sky gods view the genetic mixing of species as a mistake that needed to be corrected? Were they aiming to establish a pure human lineage that could develop independently without their direct intervention? The flood may have been served as a reset button for Earth's inhabitants, allowing the new version of humankind to emerge free from the influence of these celestial beings. The archaeological site called Naksuan near Mount Ararat in Turkey offers an intriguing connection to the legendary tale of Noah. Some believe that if Naksuan is indeed the first city built by Noah after the flood, the Ark itself might be hidden somewhere nearby. But what if the Ark was not a traditional vessel designed to carry pairs of every animal species, and rather it was a DNA bank that held the genetic information of all life on Earth? This concept aligns with the idea that the flood might have been a deliberate act by extraterrestrials to reset the genetic makeup of Earth's inhabitants and establish a pure human lineage. In the modern era, we are building our own versions of Arks in the form of seed banks and DNA repositories like the Svalbard Global Seed Vault in Norway. These facilities are designed to withstand catastrophic events and preserve the genetic diversity of plant and animal species. The construction of these modern-day Arks highlights our awareness of the fragility of life on Earth and our need to prepare for potential global disasters. If we're truly descendants of an extraterrestrial guided lineage, what is our place in the universe and what is our relationship with these otherworldly beings? Are we part of a grand experiment, a product of their intervention, or simply the beneficiaries of their guidance? When we find the answers to these questions, we will hold the key to understanding our origins, our purpose, and our ultimate destiny. The Great Flood as a turning point in human history highlights the complexities of our origins and the potential role of extraterrestrial beings in shaping our past. As we continue to explore our history and the mysteries of the universe, we must consider the possibility that this cataclysm was more than just a natural catastrophe and may have served a greater purpose in the evolution of humankind. We bow before you and thank you for watching another episode of Secret Origins. Keep your minds open, and until we meet again.